Next is inverse of cotangent, that is cot function. So how the cot function is defined? So we know that cot x, it is nothing but what? Cos x divided by sin x. So sin x, cos x divided by sin x, where sin x comes in the denominator. So sin x comes to the denominator means at certain point if sin x becomes 0 means cot x becomes undefined. So at which point the sin becomes 0? When the angle of sin, that is when x becomes the multiple of pi means it becomes what? 0. For example, sin 0 is 0, sin pi it is 0, sin 2 pi it is 0, sin minus pi it is 0, minus 2 pi it is 0. So the multiple values of pi, so for the multiple values of pi the sin value becomes 0. So when sin becomes 0, what happens to the cot? Anything divided by 0, it is nothing but undefined. So undefined means at the multiple values of pi the cot function is what? Not defined. So from the set of real numbers we are removing all those points where the cot function is not defined, that is multiple values of pi, and the range of the cot function is set of real numbers only. Clearly by looking into the graph itself we can say it is not an a 1-1 function, because suppose if I take 2 points from here and here, that is x1 and x2, means if we take the value or the f of x values of both the function is that is same, that is where x1 and x2 are not equal to one another but their function, that is f of x1 is equal to f of x2, so it is not an a 1-1 function. So clearly this function is not a 1-1 function but it is an a onto function, so it is not a bijective. So we need to turn now this cot function into a bijective function by restricting the domain of the cot function. So at what restriction should be implied to get the cot function as a bijective means by looking into the graph it is clear that if we restrict the cot function from 0 to pi means we are going to get what? We are going to get only this much of the graph, that is from 0 to pi. Clearly if we take any values from 0 to pi means we are going to get the values from the set of real numbers itself. So where our y-axis is also the set of real numbers, so whatever the values you can take from 0 to pi we are going to get set of real numbers, so that each value of x is having what? One and only one image. You can take any value of x, for each value of x we are going to get only one image. So clearly when the cot function's domain is restricted from 0 to pi we are going to get the range is again the set of real numbers only. At this time the cot function is both 1-1 and onto function, so the cot function is turned into bijective functions. Now clearly when the domain of the cot function is restricted to 0 to pi this cot function is turned into a bijective function. So when the function is bijective then there exists a inverse of this function, so that is nothing but cot inverse. So from where to where the cot inverse function is defined? So one thing which we need to concentrate, even I forgot to say here. So I said the domain when the domain is restricted from 0 to pi. Clearly at 0 the function is not defined, and even at pi also it is not defined, you can see here. So clearly 0 and pi are not at all included in the interval. The values lying between 0 to pi it is included, so it is represented by the closed interval or a closed bracket. So I have used here big bracket, so it is not a big bracket, it is a closed bracket or a common bracket, because you can observe here cos 0 it is not at all coming under the domain, because we have removed the in multiples of pi. So pi, cot pi or cot 0 it is not at all defined here. You can observe here clearly through the graph. So it is closed interval from 0 to pi to set of real numbers. At that time this function become bijective. So now the Since the function is bijective, then there exists an inverse, that is cot inverse. From where to where? From the set of real numbers to closed interval 0 to pi, where 0 and pi are not at all included in the range of the inverse of cot. So this 0 to pi, it becomes what? Principal value branch. Principal value branch of the inverse function of cot, or cot inverse function's principal value branch is 0 to pi. Suppose if I restrict from closed interval pi to 2 pi also, means at that time also the cot function becomes a bijective. Suppose if I restrict the interval from minus pi to 0, means at that time also the cot function become the bijective function, but all those intervals are the different branches of the cot inverse function, but the principal value branch is, that is 0 pi. That is, we are considering the standard interval, that is 0 to pi is the standard interval, and that standard interval is called as principal value branch. And for the cot inverse, the function is defined from set of real numbers to 0 to pi, and this is the inverse function of cot. Next is inverse of cosecant function. So clearly, what is cosecant x? Cosecant x, it is nothing but 1 by sin x. So clearly, since sin x is coming under the denominator, at what point the sin values are 0, at that point the cosecant functions are not defined. So sin values are 0 at the multiple values of pi. So removing those points from the domain, because at this point sin becomes 0, so 1 by 0 is not defined. So at these points, that is multiple values of pi, at these point cosecant function is not defined. So from the set of real numbers, we have removed those points at which the cosecant functions are not defined. So this becomes the domain of the function, and range, that is nothing but from the set of real numbers we have removed the closed interval minus 1 and 1. Closed interval minus 1 and 1 means where minus 1 and plus 1 are included in the set of real numbers. The numbers lying between minus 1 and 1 are not included. So how the graph of cosecant function will be? This is the graph of sine function, right? Sine function. So clearly cosecant function, since sine functions graph is like this, and cosecant functions are not defined at the multiple values of pi, that is at these point the sine functions are not defined. So not defined means it is infinity, and since the cosecant function is 1 by sin x, whatever the values lying between from 1 to minus 1, from 1 to minus 1, these values are not at all in the range of the cosecant function. Since from 0 to pi the graph is like this, means so from 0 to pi cosecant functions graph will be how? From 0 to pi it will be like this. It will be like this, where this is not at all touching the graph, it will be gone like this. Appear to be tending to tangent, appearing to be, this line is appearing to be the tangent, but it is not a tangent. So at 0 and pi the function is not defined. Similarly, and the values from 0 to 1 is not at all coming in the range of the cosecant function graph. Again, so from pi to 2 pi graph is like this. So here how it becomes? It becomes ulte of this one. So it will be like this. So now clearly this becomes the graph of the cosecant function. Now by looking into the graph itself, we can say that it is not a 1-1 function, because if I take any two values from here and here for different values of x, we are having what? Same f of x values. So it is not a 1-1 function. So we need to restrict the domain of the cosecant function so that we can make the cosecant function into a 1-1 function. So now the work is to how we are restricting the domain of this cosecant function. So if I consider a domain restricted from 0 to pi, means what happen? Like this graph is going to appear. So clearly like this means at two different points we are going to have same image at two different points. So 0 to pi restriction is not at all valid. Suppose if I restrict from minus pi by 2, pi by 2. So how it will be if I restrict the graph from, suppose this one is our minus pi by 2 and this one is our pi by 2 and this is pi and this is minus pi. So clearly look here and look here simultaneously. So this is our 1 and this is our minus 1. Suppose you can observe here from 0 to pi by 2 how the graph is. The graph is like this. So from 0 to pi by 2 the graph is like this, and from 0 to minus pi by 2 the graph is like this here. So this is minus 1 point here. So from minus pi by 2 to 0 the graph is like this. So this is the, so when the domain is restricted from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 we are going to get what, like this type of graph, and this is what the restricted domain, that is minus pi by 2 to minus pi by 2, where again here minus pi by 2 that is included, minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, where from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 at which point the cosecant function is not defined, at which point, at 0. So from minus pi by 2 pi by 2 I am removing that point 0, because at cosecant 0 the function is not at all defined. You can see here in the before itself. So from that interval, if I consider this interval, means 0 is removed from that interval. So this becomes the principal value branch. So now what is the cosecant function's domain now? If cosecant function is defined from minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2, from that interval if I remove the 0, that is 0 means from this domain what is the range? That is range is from the set of real numbers I am removing minus 1 to 1 point. So if we consider the domain from minus pi by 2 pi by 2, from that 0 is removed, means at that time the cosecant function become what? It becomes a bijective function. Since cosecant function is a bijective function, now there exists a inverse of this function. So how that inverse is defined? That is cosecant inverse is equal to, the function is defined from set of real numbers where from the points from minus 1 to 1, where these points are not at all included, to the range. What is the range? That is minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, where from that interval 0 is removed, and this is nothing but what? Principal value branch. Not only this interval, suppose if I consider the interval from pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2, if I consider the interval from pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2, at that interval also possible, from pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2, at which point the function is not defined? At the point pi. So from pi by 2 to minus from pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2, if I remove pi, means this at this point at this interval also cosecant function becomes bijective. Suppose if I consider the interval from minus pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2, where minus pi is removed from that interval, means at that interval also the cosecant function becomes the bijective function, where all those are different branches of the cosecant inverse, but this branch is the standard branch, and that is called as a principal value branch of cosecant inverse function, where the function is defined from set of real numbers where minus 1 to 1 numbers are removed, to the range minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2, where 0 is removed from that interval. So this is the function where cosecant inverse function is defined. Then the next and the last one is inverse of the secant function. So clearly what is secant function? Secant x, it is nothing but 1 by cos x. So at what point the cos functions are equal to 0? At the multiple values or the multiple angles of x, when x is equal to pi by 2. So the multiple values of pi by 2, we are going to get cosecant function is equal to 0. So 1 by 0 is not defined. So secant functions are not defined at the multiple values of pi by 2. So from the set of real numbers we have removed those points, and the range of this function becomes what? That is, from the set of real numbers the values lying between -1 and 1. So 1 and -1 are included, the lying between -1 and 1 are removed. So if this is 1 and this is -1 means, so the points which are lying between 1 to -1, these are not at all included in the range of the function of secant. That is, now like this becomes the graph of the secant function. So clearly by looking into the graph of a secant function, clearly it is not a 1 1 function. Suppose if I take any 2 points from here, this is x1 and this one is x2, means what? So for two different values of the x1 and x2 we are going to get same image of these 2 points. So clearly it is not a 1 1 function. So now we need to restrict the domain of the secant function. So how we are going to restrict the domain of a secant function? Suppose if I restrict from -pi/2 to pi/2 means, no, it is not at all possible. If I take two different points here means we are going to get same image of those 2 points. So from -pi/2 to pi/2 it is not at all possible. So for the secant function we are restricting the domain from 0 to pi, from 0 to pi. So from 0 to pi means what and all the graph it is included, this part, from this is from 0 to pi/2, and from pi/2 to pi this part will become the content for the when domain is restricted from 0 to pi. So when the secant function domain is restricted from 0 to pi, so when I consider from 0 to pi, at pi/2 the function is not at all defined, secant function is not at all defined. So from 0 to pi interval I am removing that point where the function is not removed, not defined. So I am removed that point. When the secant function is restricted to this domain and the range is that itself, which is in the secant function, at that time the secant function becomes what? Bijective function. So when secant function now become bijective function means, clearly now there exists a inverse function, there exists the inverse of that secant function, that is secant inverse, from where to where? That is from the set of real numbers excluding the points between -1 to 1 to the range, that is 0 to pi, where -pi/2 point is excluded, and this is called as what? Principal value branch. Principal value branch of secant function. Suppose if I restrict from pi to 2 pi, if I restrict the domain from pi to 2 pi, so from pi to 2 pi means this part of the graph is included, where which point is excluded? At that time 3 pi/2, at 3 pi/2 the graph is not defined. So from, if I consider the interval from pi to 2 pi, 3 pi/2 point is excluded. At that time also the secant function becomes the bijective function. Suppose if I consider the interval from -pi to 2 pi, -2 pi, excluding the point -3 pi/2, at that time also secant function becomes the bijective function, and all these intervals are the different branches of the secant inverse function, but the principal value branch is this one. The standard range which is considered is called as the principal value branch of the secant inverse function. So this becomes the definition, or the how we are defining the secant inverse function. So clearly now we have came across all the inverses of 6 trigonometric functions. 6 trigonometric functions. So we know that all the graphs of 6 trigonometric functions. So 6 trigonometric functions. So clearly if we take the inverse functions of all the graph, or the graph of inverse, that is, what is the graph of sine inverse, what is the graph of cos inverse means. So all the graph of these inverse function is nothing but which is clearly obtained by interchanging x and y axis. X and y axis. Suppose for the sine function, I am going to give example for one thing and the rest of them follows by the same. Suppose in the sine function, our x axis and y axis was this one. For the x axis, what we had the angles, that is pi, 2 pi, minus pi, like this we had in the x axis, and the range is nothing but from 1 to -1. This is the graph of sine x. So when we are writing the graph of sine inverse x, that is inverse of the sine function, means we are interchanging the x and y axis, where our y axis is changed into the x axis, that is our y axis becomes pi, 2 pi, minus 2 pi, like this, and our x axis is interchanged into the y axis, that is the value is lying from -1 to 1. So this is how we are going to get the graph of inverse of the each trigonometric function. Suppose if a comma b is a point in the sine in this function, means the corresponding point in the inverse of that function is nothing but b comma a is the corresponding point in this inverse of this corresponding trigonometric function. So this is regarding the graph of all 6 graphs of the inverse trigonometric function. So now let us wind up all the things which you have learnt in this today's video, that is the inverse trigonometric function along with its domain and range. So the whole thing of the which is important to note it down is if you remember this table is damn enough to solve all the exercise problems regarding the inverse trigonometric functions. So whatever we have learned, it is purely basic, how the graph or how the thing we are going to derive from the each and every trigonometric functions and the inverse trigonometric functions. So the main thing is, if we note down this table, means it is damn easy to understand each and everything. The first thing is sine inverse function, inverse trigonometric function. If I consider sine inverse, means what is the domain of sine inverse? Domain of sine inverse is from -1 to 1. Then what is the range? The range is nothing but principal value branch. So what is the restricted principal restricted domain of the sine function? That becomes the principal value branch. So that is nothing but what? -pi/2 to pi/2. This is the domain and principal value branch of sine inverse function. Next is cos inverse function. So what is the domain of cos inverse function? It is -1 to 1. What is the principal value branch of cos inverse function? It is from 0 to pi. The next is what we learned, that is tan inverse function. So what is the domain of tan inverse function? It is the set of all real numbers. What is the principal value branch of tan inverse function? That is nothing but -pi/2 to +pi/2 with the closed interval, not the open bracket. It is the closed not open bracket. It is the not the closed bracket. It is the open bracket. -pi/2 to +pi/2. The next is what we came across, that is cot inverse. So the domain of cot inverse, it is again the set of real numbers. So what is the principal value branch? It is from 0 to pi with the open bracket. Remember this one, open bracket for cot and tan inverse function. Then next is what we learned, that is cosecant inverse. So the domain of cosecant inverse is from the set of real numbers, we are removing the numbers lying between -1 and 1. So this becomes the domain of cosecant inverse function. What is the range? That is from open bracket -pi/2 to +pi/2. From this point we are removing the point 0. Only point 0 angle 0 is removed. So this becomes the principal value branch of cosecant inverse. The next is secant inverse. So the domain of secant inverse function is from set of real numbers. Again I am taking off -1 and 1, and the principal value branch become from 0 to pi. From that I am removing the angle pi/2. So this become the principal value branch. So this is must and should, you people need to remember this table. So while we are solving any inverse trigonometric function problem means you must be able to know the each inverse trigonometric functions principal value branch. So you must able to know the principal value branch of each and every inverse trigonometric function. Suppose cot inverse means what is the principal value branch of cot inverse, it should be known. What is the principal value branch of secant inverse, it should be known. What is the principal value branch of cosecant inverse, it must be known for you people. So it is must and should, and so this is very very important for you peoples to remember this table. So that's why I have drawn the table. While doing each and everything, we just retain sine inverse function, domain and range, this much only written, but this table is very important. Remember this table. So this is regarding the basic introduction of inverse trigonometric function. So go through this video, understand each and everything step by step. Suppose if you know clearly the trigonometric functions, this is very easy. Suppose if you feel difficult means understand the basic from the trigonometric function, then this becomes very easy, and this is one of the smallest and easiest chapter in your class 12th NCERT textbook. So go through it step by step. You can easily score in the inverse trigonometric function. Suppose if you understand the basic, that is if you understand this basic which you have done today, if you understand this much, you can easily score 5 to 6 marks which is allotted to this chapter in your board examination. So that's why I'm saying one of the easiest chapter, don't neglect it, understand it carefully. So this much regarding towards today's video. If you have any doubts, you can contact me at any time. Thank you, students.